Yo, what up? What up? What up, man? What up, man? We will go knock this one out. No news. What up, man? Stefan, what up? What up? this one, this one might not be that long, but I promise you it'll be very, very entertaining. It'll be very entertaining. Some of y'all might have saw this already. I don't know, but I was very entertained by it. I have to admit, even though it does evolve, motherfuckers end up outside in the winter. It's still entertaining nonetheless. So man, y'all go ahead and foul in here, man. Y'all go ahead and foul in here. Lion, what up, man? Cam, what up? KC, what up, man? Y'all go ahead and foul in here, man. King Des, what up, man? Science guy, what up? What up? Mr. O, what up, dog? Tech boy, what up? Let a few more y'all get in here, man. How you enjoying Black Monday, Tech boy? But he had to go. Morris had to go. Morris had to go, and Stefanski definitely had to go. The motherfuckers had to go, man. I'm so glad that the Bears aren't currently in that type of cycle of firing, on Black Monday. And you know what? Even though it's some coaches that's screaming to be fired, like Aaron Glenn, he's screaming to be fired. Anytime you say that you didn't think the job was gonna be that big, nigga, you talking about a head coaching job in the NFL in you know the biggest TV market in the NFL. How did you not think that that job was gonna be that big? Screaming to be fired. But with all of these openings that come up, or with all of these coaches that should be fired, the question always still remains: fire them in favor of who? You say joyful, joyful. We adore the we adore the. This is how I feel about Black Monday. Okay, I say that about Raheem Morris because Raheem Morris Raheem Morris is one of those uh uh defensive minded coaches that don't understand. If you go to me, if you go be a head coach, you will be better served to be, you know, vested in, well, not vested, but qualified on both sides of the ball, right? You need to do one or three things if you're a head coach. Either you need to know about both sides of the ball, or you need to figure out some type of offensive game plan that complements whatever you want to do defensively, or you need to be extremely adept at going out and hiring people to delegate their responsibility to. And I just don't think that Raheem Morris has neither one of the three. Right? I don't think he has neither one of the three. But the NFL brings this problem on themselves because the NFL doesn't do it how the Bears used to do it. Right? When Hallis was still running the organization, he would go out and hire who he wanted to be the head coach, who he wanted to be the defensive coordinator, all of that shit. Besides the U.S. president being the head coach of a college program or a professional team is the only fucking job in the world where you can just get hired there and just bring all of your friends in on the first day. You can't do that at any other job. Only with big football coaches at certain levels and the U.S. presidency. And I think that that's part of the problem with coaching is that even though somebody else in the organization, the team, the president of football operations perhaps might be able to go out and identify somebody that's a more qualified candidate to be a coordinator, at the end of the day, they have to be submitted to the cronyism of these coaches. And trust me, they hire they cronies. It's some good old boy shit. If you don't believe that, you don't know football. Yeah, there's no reason that y'all shouldn't have, with the talent level that Atlanta has. Tech Boy is right. There's no reason why y'all shouldn't have won a weak division and been in the playoffs with the talent y'all have on y'all team. The talent level there is too fucking high. That is as far as talent level, that's actually, I think y'all talent level was a little bit better than Carolina at most positions. And I think it's better than Tampa Bay. But it takes coaching too. Yeah, and I know Pete Carroll is gone. Do I think Dion to be going to the Browns? Nah, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so. All right, man. Let's go ahead and get to the story. Fair use. Fair use. Fair use.
Okay, so some of my people in my apartments don't know I'm connected to some higher up people. So y'all gonna call and complain about me not delivering a package to your apartment. Talking about, oh, this person lives here. And you file a complaint on me like I'm not doing my job. So I do a little research, right? I asked y'all manager to give me the rent roll for everybody that live in the apartment so I can put the names in the box. Come to find out, your boyfriend is not on the lease. So this is what I'm gonna do. On Monday, I'm gonna go to that office and tell them you got your boyfriend living there and he not on the lease, and I'm gonna get you kicked out. How about that? Since you wanna call my supervisor and you wanna complain about me, I got you. I got one better. Get ready to move. Go buy that U-Haul because y'all out. Monday, y'all.
Tech Boy, you probably outright. Tech Boy writes, niggas need to stop doing shorts and TikToks in their work uniforms. At least he waited until he was off of the clock. At least he waited until he was off of the clock. But I understand his outrage. I understand his outrage. So as you heard, there was a delivery mix up, and what they expected to be delivered wasn't even inside of his truck. But rather than just waiting for the mail a couple or a few more days, because this is the postage system that we're talking about, this woman, this so-called black woman, decided to try to make a run at this man's job, right? And he explained to her, I don't have it. She wasn't trying to hear that. She demanded his name. She demanded his name. He said, okay, you want my name here. She went out there and looked at the number on his truck and then called in and tried to report him to his supervisor. And I'm sure that when the supervisor got wind of the report, he probably looked on the computer and was like, they don't even have a package coming. It's not on his truck. It's not on his truck. So I don't know what the hell she's complaining about. Canton Moore was right. It's about time niggas stop playing fairly. These days you play fair, you catch L's. Yep. 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 Oh, we know King Des. We know. We know. King Des writes, you know she definitely would not have done that if it was any other race of man. Oh, we know. We know. Yeah, we know. We definitely know that. Yep. So he was like, okay. So he couldn't understand why she would take it that far. So he went to the rental office of the apartment complex and asked for their mailing list. Now, a lot of people are saying, oh, it's a privacy violation. No, it's not. He's a postal employee. He's a postal employee. The only people that can ask for that shit are postal employees and the police. He's a postal employee. So because she asked, he must have remembered the name that she asked when she was like, do you have a package for so and so, so and so? And that must have been her boyfriend's name. So he got the boyfriend's name, went and referenced it with what was on that mailing list, and come to find out, lo and behold, her boyfriend is not on the lease. And so he reported that to the management of the complex, and they said, damn. And so then they was like, well, she's going to be in trouble. And so they, in short, they cut an eviction notice for her. And he said, well, if y'all go evict her, can I be the one that deliver it to her? And they was like, yeah, you the mailman. Yeah, sure. Yep. So that's what came out of this. King Des writes, there's been a mix-up with deliveries every day, B. I worked for the Postal Service before. Keisha's and old Big Back Becky's are in charge. And so you know it's a mess. Yeah. Yeah. Hell, I had just like in the middle of last year, I had the Postal Service lose a fucking spindle assembly to a truck. A big ass box that was probably like 70 pounds, and they lost some shit that big. They lost a whole spindle assembly to a truck, and the eBay seller had to just refund me my money. But I didn't give the individual mailman coming out to me shit. I just asked him, hey, do you got a package you with this tracking number? He was like, no, I ain't got that on my truck. After it was like a week, and I didn't even do that until it was like a week overdue, past the delivery date. I had patience because I know, hey, this is a big ass fucking package. People might not want to carry this shit, and it ended up coming up missing. Now, most likely what happened to it, most likely what happened to that shit, you know, let's be real here. Most likely what happened to that is one of the postal employees there seen the big ass box, or it might have came open and they might out, damn, this the exact spindle assembly that I need. Let me sneak this shit out the back door. That's most likely what happened. That's most likely what happened. So I just told I told the eBay seller, like, hey, the postal they said they lost it. And he was like, oh, and so he just refunded me he ain't even argue with me. When I showed him the screenshot of the email that the post office sent me, he didn't even argue with me. He just refunded my money within like an hour. And he sent me an email like, hey, I issued you a refund, man. Sorry. And I was like, well, do you have the same part in stock? He was like, no, we don't have another one. Science got rights. That's exactly why I try to get everything I can in person if possible. I've had late packages so many times it's annoying. Well, another dynamic of this, my personal situation I'm talking about, is that with certain suspension parts, I like buying them from the south because they're gonna be rust free. So this part was coming out of New Mexico, so it was in a dry climate. It was rust free. Yeah, so I can't go in person and get that in New Mexico. But and guess what? The letter carrier that comes over here is a tall black woman. I didn't run up on her truck cursing her out when I didn't get my spindle. Like I said, I waited till it was a week past due, and I said, "Excuse me, I got a tracking number. Do you have this and that?" She looked at the tracking number and she typed and she was like, "No, I don't have it in here." I said, "Well, it's been a week overdue now." And she was like, "You might want to call the 1-800 number or try to call the hub." I was like, "Okay," and that was it. And then even after that, she was like, "You get your," she was like, "I don't the package you talking about. It's I don't." Because she was like, I would notice that because it seems like it's something that's real big. I said, yeah, it's the spindle for a truck. She was like, nah, I don't have nothing that big in here. I'm like, okay, nice, civilized. But of course, because people look at so-called black men as being less than human, it's always this baseline hostility. It's always this baseline low level of respect. It's always there. It's always there. It's always there. Right? And not only that, I really, really do think that a lot of these movies that you saw in the late 90s and early 2000s that depicted acts of destruction against the property of so-called black men, and music videos too that I wrote about in my book. I think that a lot of this type of media has inspired people to do this to black men. Not just black women, but mostly black women. But I think this type of media has inspired people to come at black men sideways like this, just as an opportunity to cause chaos and destruction, just because you're you, just because of that. Because they understand the dynamics of this system, they understand how this country is set up, and they understand that you're going to be the last one hired and the first one fired. They understand that, right? But now she's, she's packing up her shit. She's been evicted. You know, most people that I've seen going in the comment section of the video are in full support of full support of the mailman. right? And so all's well that ends well. I want y'all to tune in later on. We're going to talk about Tim Waltz dropping out of the the Minnesota gubernatorial campaign and why that's happening and the ramifications of it. Science Guy writes, it pushes the programming that this is something normal in the black community and black men are used to it. Yeah, it's crazy that this is something that black men are used to. No other race of man has to deal with this shit. No other, I've never heard a white man, a Mexican man, or an Asian man, or a Middle Eastern man tell me, oh yeah, she came up to my job. I've never heard another type of man say that. I've heard black men say it. I've heard black men say it. I've never heard another type of man, another type of man say that a woman doesn't want him to work. I've heard black men say it. I've never heard another type of man talk about just the wholesale destruction of his property because he doesn't want to be with a woman or because the woman has like some type of unfounded allegation against him or some type of impropriety like cheating or something or so-called cheating, right? I've never heard other men talk about anything like that. I haven't. I just haven't. I'm not trying to say that these other types of women are perfect and no shit like that, but it's just certain things that I haven't heard other men, groups of men talk about. Maybe because those other women are logical enough to understand that basically if this is a man that they with, that why should I destroy all of his material shit when that's just another pool of material shit that I have access to? So in essence, I'm destroying my own shit too. Why would I key up his pickup truck when I can drive it whenever I feel like it? Why would I slash his tires when I can drive that car too? Why would I cut up his clothes when I can steal his sweaters and his belts and wear them as accessories and his sunglasses and wear them as accessories? I remember when that trend came out when I was younger, when women were much, much smaller than they are now. I remember when that trend came out to where the fashion magazines was saying that it was cool and playful. For you see how I got this sweater and this button down shirt on, where they was saying to that they was basically telling women that it was fashionable to wear this as a dress though, because back then the expectation was that your man was at least 40-50 pounds bigger than you, not so much now, and that you will wear his shirt and his sweater and it would be so long on you that it could be a dress. So the recommendation was to take his sweater and take his shirt and then get a matching pair of opaque pantyhose and then just put some boots on with it for a nice playful fall outfit and one of his belts around your waist to gather it in. So why would they at least they got enough common sense to ask themselves why destroy all of his shit when that's just more shit that I have access to? Yeah, you right, Lion. Keisha don't think that far ahead. I saw one TikTok. Speaking of that, I saw one TikTok over the weekend where after an argument, because the man had just went to the grocery store, the so-called black woman walks up, opens up the refrigerator, and just start doing like this and pulling all of the items on the ground and stomping on them. Everything that he just went grocery shopping for. And it's like, don't you eat there too? Don't you eat there too? That's like I would think that if you motherfuckers living together that you eat that too. So the man goes shopping and you take and then in this current economy, you take and throw hundreds of dollars of food on the ground on the kitchen and then stomp on it. Nobody could be that motherfucking mad. Nobody could be that mad. Yeah, you're right, King. That Keisha doesn't think. I really had one of them admit that to me. I wish they would admit it to me. I wish they would admit it to me. I don't have bitches say the craziest, accuse me of the craziest shit, like bestiality. And I mentioned this to y'all before. I mentioned this to y'all before. And I know you doing something crazy with that dog. What? What? Oh, his dick be hanging out sometimes. He's a male. He's an unneutered male dog. He's an unneutered male dog. Is gonna do that sometimes. Am I a fan of it? No, but it's natural. It's not evidence of me doing anything to him. No, I think it is. Well, you know what you're thinking wrong. Ain't no telling what you're doing to. Then I send him a screenshot um, of results of CT scans that says that a dog's rectal opening is like 4 centimeters, which is like 1.5 inches. Nobody's dick is that small. Nobody's dick is that small to be able to stick it inside of a fucking dog. Nobody. You do you realize? Do you realize that that's basically like two pencils put the diameter of two pencils put together? Nobody's dick is that small. So why are you accusing me of this stupid shit? Oh, the fact that you went and looked that up. No, the fact that I went and looked that up shows that I'm just telling your dumb ass some factual information. That's not evidence of my guilt, but the shit that you saying is so fucking preposterous. Yeah, I've been accused of that multiple times. I don't understand that. I don't understand how sick somebody's mind has to be to accuse you of that. Like, what is your baseline thoughts like? Is if you see a unneutered male dog with the tip of his little thing sticking out because he just ran up the stairs and now he panting and shit, his heart rate is up, and you just see a little bit of it sticking out, and that's the first thing that your mind jumps to. If that's the first thing that your mind jumps to, what other type of sick, twisted thoughts are you harboring? All right, man. I'm about to get up out of here. Be back at 5:15. We gonna talk about Tampon Timmy. Be back at 5:15, man.